Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Coding Bootcamp Career Development Channel. I'm your online career coach, Ramon Smith, certified digital career strategist, certified student career coach, and founder and CEO of Node, the network platform where Coding Bootcamp grads connect with recruiters and employers to create career opportunities. And I'm continuing with my series of doing the LinkedIn news and covering the headlines, but I'm also expanding that to including the Google News and covering the Google News headlines. So, without further ado, the Google News first, or at least the headlines, and I'm primarily going to focus on business and jobs. Um, Moving forward, I will also focus on technology. So first, FX Street, U.S. Jolts job opening poised to edge lower in February. So that's interesting. The second one, Pentagon ruling eases one employment barrier for military spouses overseas. Okay. Bureau of Labor Statistics, employment and wages for the largest occupations for the details oriented. So this is a good article to read. And then finally, Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. Strong U.S. employment driven by sectors less sensitive to business cycles. Okay, so I'm going to move over to the LinkedIn news and reshare my screen. So first, OpenAI closes at 40 billion funding round. Wow, that's huge. So OpenAI has closed a record-breaking 40 billion funding round, the most ever raised by a private tech company, reported by CNBC, led by SoftBank Group. The round boasts of ChatGPT maker valuation at 300 billion. OpenAI will initially receive 10 billion and the remaining 30 billion by the end of 2025. Wow. We got to get some of that money, folks. And I have a plan to get into it. So contact me. I'll leave my contact information in the information section of this video. Next, stock log worst quarter since 22. So the stock market capped off its worst quarter since 2022 with investor sentiment roiled by concerns over tariffs and mounting fears that big tech stock may be an AI-driven bubble. The S&P 500 has dropped 4.6% this year, while the Nasdaq has slumped over 10%. That's a huge drop, actually. The tech giants that drove the market to record heights in recent years are now dragging it lower. Next, Michigan braces for auto tariffs. So, two Michigan business groups are warning that President Donald Trump plan to impose 25% tariffs on foreign made cars will bring a pain to the state, where one in five jobs is tied to the automotive industry. The Detroit Regional Chamber, Mich Auto, expects the tariffs to raise prices, disrupt supply chains, lower demand, and negatively impact the hardworking Americans who assemble the auto parts in the cars. Next, EU ready to retaliate on tariffs. So tariffs is a big thing. That's what's happening. It's shown up three times in the news reports this morning. The European Union says it's ready to hit back at any reciprocal tariffs imposed on its products by the US. Europe holds a lot of cards from trade to technology to the size of our markets, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Tuesday, referring to potential routes for retaliation. Next, immigrants in tech warned on travel. So, Silicon Valley's largest tech firms, which employs thousands of immigrant workers on H-1B visas, are warning these employees not to leave the U.S. amid growing fears they may be denied reentry. The Washington Post reports. Law firms say rejection rates for high skilled visas may increase amid the Trump's administration's restrictive stance on immigration. Next, White House probes Harvard funding. So the Trump administration plans to review Harvard University's federal contracts and grants as part of a sweeping probe to allege anti-Semitism on U.S. college campuses. The investigation, led by the Department of Education and the Department of Health and Human Services, centers on 255.6 million in contracts and 8.7 billion in grants. Next, SpaceX launches Polar Mission. So, SpaceX launched its first crewed space mission over the North and South Poles on Monday. The Fram 2 voyage, named after Norwegian polar explorer ship from the 1800s, has a crew of four private astronauts, including crypto investor Chun Wang, who funded the expedition. The mission's goal, which is set to span 3 to 5 days in a Falcon 9 rocket, is to study the effects of space. Actually, let me see more of this. Space travel on human health. Very interesting, actually. Next, student loan late payments spike. So, the restart of student loan repayments following years of pandemic related freezes has been rough. About 13% of borrowers are at least 90 days late on their payments, up from 8.4 at the start of 2020, according to credit reporting agency TransUnion. Some point to a lack of budgeting experience among younger borrowers, but borrowers themselves point to overall chaos, saying loan services aren't communicating or making errors. And they point to Trump era education department disruptions as an aggravator. Next, Amazon restarts anti theft checks. So Amazon is bringing back metal detector screenings at warehouses and is asking workers to register their personal phones to make the security process move more quickly. Bloomberg reports the rollout will be gradual, with workers being advised of the phone registering aspects on Monday, per Bloomberg citing anonymous sources. Registering personal phones so security personnel know they aren't stolen involves sharing partial serial numbers and stickering the device. Early versions of metal detect screenings caused bottlenecks with complaints and lawsuits seeking post shift pay. And finally, investors eye Intel's new boss. In his first keynote, Intel CEO Lip-Bu Tan revealed plans to spin off non-core businesses and launch new products, including custom semiconductors, as part of a strategic shift. He did not specify which parts may be considered non-central to the chipmaker's future, despite circulating bids for its chip fabrication operations. While the market has so far welcomed Tan, says the Wall Street Journal, if he doesn't soon articulate a new way forward that is both promising and sufficiently distinct from Gesslingers, the market's patience may wear thin. All right, guys. So feel free to hit the like button, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.